It's a really good question. We get that question quite often. Will the lens help me with this? The struggles that I have in my life. Is a lens something that can help? We also get that from practitioners. Will the lens help this particular symptom profile? And the lens can work with anyone that has central nervous system dysfunction, essentially, from symptoms resulting from bumps on the head, from concussive injuries, car accidents, stroke. Can be helpful with the symptoms of autism and PDD, symptoms that come out of these types of things. It can be very helpful with. And with the lens, what's one of the wonderful things for practitioners with the lens is you're not treating someone based upon their diagnosis. The lens is kind of a diagnosis-free area. We're more interested in the range of symptoms that someone is is suffering with, and matching the application to the person's physiology. So it really doesn't matter whether they came in and have symptoms as a result of a stroke, or they have symptoms as a result of a bump on the head. It really doesn't matter as far as what we're doing in coming up with a treatment plan. So in answering the question, will it help me? It might be easier for us then to go ahead and talk not so much about diagnosis, but just symptoms. The symptoms, which when you think about symptoms of certain diagnoses, is this something that the lens might help? So you're talking about learning and memory and cognition and balance, like grace and walking. It can be very helpful in optimizing performance, for professional athletes and whatnot. It can be very helpful for that. And dealing with pain and anxiety, kind of the symptoms of anxiety, an inability to leave the house, certain fears that people have. So anything that kind of is a central nervous system issue, the lens, there's a possibility that it can help. So if you're interested, you're welcome to give us a call at Oaks Labs. We're happy to talk with you about that, or call a practitioner in your area and check in with them. Is this something that might the lens help me? So the symptoms itself can just vary so widely. It's kind of difficult to answer that in a nutshell. What you might want to do is on our website, which is oakslabs.com, and it's spelled OCHS LABS. If you go there, under resources, you're going to find a document that's called Areas of Applicability. We get that question so much. We've put together a document that kind of can be much more helpful in finding out what is the symptom profile you have, and can the lens help me? So that's going to be a good resource for you. And again, that's a great question. Thanks for answering. Actually, thanks for asking that question. It's a great one. Another resource that you can utilize as far as might the lens help me is one of the questionnaires that our patients fill out before they come in and see us. And this is true of lens practitioners in general, not just our clinic here at Oaks Labs, but it's called a CNS functioning questionnaire, and CNS is central nervous system. So what you can do is actually, you'll find it on our website, oakslabs.com, and go to clinical forums, and you'll find it there. And go ahead and take a look at that, and look at it breaks the symptoms down into particular categories, like memory, cognition, activation, things like this. And so taking a look at that, those are the areas in which the lens can be helpful, can be very helpful. So that's going to help you determine whether or not we might be able to help you. Take a look at that questionnaire and fill that out. And if you're seeing areas in which you're struggling and these are symptoms that you have, then it's certainly worth calling and having a conversation and checking out the options around treatment. And one of the great things about the lens is you don't need to go 20 or 30 times before you realize whether or not it's going to help you. Essentially, what we teach when we teach people how to do the lens, when we're teaching the practitioners, is we say to them, if you're not seeing some movement and some symptom resolution starting in 2 or 3 sessions, give us a call. That's kind of what we like to see, is if someone's going to respond, you'll know within just a couple of sessions. So you're not going to need to go ahead and spend a lot of time, effort, and money deciding whether or not that's going to work for you. You'll know within a couple of sessions whether or not your symptoms are starting to decrease. So it makes it kind of much more simple all the way around if you're unsure if it's going to help, to give it a try. All right, yeah, great question, thanks.